This is the intermodal terminal on the layout. 4 tracks. And as you can see, there's a set of switches that lead to the West Harrow secondary. Now, there's a switch just to the west of the tower, which controls the track coming out of either side of this divider here, meaning where the warehouse and the tank cars sit, or the intermodal facility here. So how do we switch it? We don't go both sides. We have a panel over here, and it's down below. And as you could see, it's got controls for the switches, plus this switch that can be controlled on either side. That's the switch pointing over there, and that one down yonder. We can control it from either side. So let's go get a train. Our intermodal train is always set down on the lower level in staging. So we're going to bring it out and we'll send it up top via the helix. So right now, it looks like we've got a pair of SD35s on this train. And we'll get this train moving a little bit, get it out of the way. There's probably 15 cars on here, give or take. And then we'll send it up the helix. Got a bunch of 56-foot well cars, 53-foot well cars. Some 48-foot well cars on there. This is a dedicated train, meaning it will not go through Rock Ridge Freight Yard. It'll come up the helix, it'll traverse the main, and then we'll put it on the West Harrow and Little Jamaica secondary track, and then we'll have the switcher switch it out. Alright, now we've got the intermodal train creeping up the helix. It does take a little bit of time. Another revolution, and we should be getting up to the top. A little more speed. And we've got the train moving. A minor adjustment, and we'll get this train up the helix. We did have to stop and do a little change. So what's going to happen now is, this is Little Jamaica Interlocking. We're going to cross the intermodal train over from the track that came up from lower level staging helix tracks onto the outside main, run it around the railroad, and then have it come into that area on the West Harrow Little Jamaica secondary, heading east. Just so you know, we had to stop the video earlier, and that's because one of the cars was being a little difficult. It's a model railroad, and, I try to get it to run as best as I can. Every now and then, one of the freight cars or an engine gets a gremlin, and you know what happens when gremlins hit the railroad. Quick roll by going west of the West Harold Interlocking. All of the cars that have the containers have been weighted down. There's a couple of cars on this train. Some of the well cars are not made with metal in them. They're made with some plastic. So the containers themselves, for the most part, they've all been weighted. So here's another shot of the intermodal terminal. As you can see, since the power's on the railroad, the MyJack lifts have been lit up. Those were done by Sammy over at East Coast Circuits. I'm sure some of you know my affiliation with them, but he did a great job of lighting them up. We first rolled these out live in, I guess it was August 2018, when I had a layout tour here, part of the NMRA division that I'm part of. So we've got the train sitting up there just west of the switch, and what we're going to do is we're going to bring that train in on the secondary, and then we'll let the MP15 switchers just switch out. We'll just do a couple of tracks of some cars and do a little bit of a move and then get on the way. So here's the panel that controls the auto rack yard, controls the terminal where the warehouse is, and this switch here controls both sides. We have a pesky little engine that doesn't want to keep quiet. So we're pulling this train onto the West Harold Little Jamaica secondary, and then we'll start working the train. We just got to make sure we clear it, and what will happen is we'll cut the engines off from the front, move them out of the way, and this way we'll give the pair of MP15s some headroom to do what they need to do. So far, so good. Yeah, this is a long train. It's got, I think it was 12 of the well cars and a pair of 89 footers. So we're off the main on the west end, and we'll let the engines cut off, and then we'll start switching out the intermodal terminal. So we've cut the engines, and we're just going to move them away. Easiest thing to do is put them on the main line, out of the way. Actually, we'll just back them up a little bit. Give them some headroom. All right, now they're on the inside main. Now we'll go, we'll just switch out 2 tracks in the intermodal yard for the sake of time, because we could be here for 20 minutes. So we're going to use a pair of MP15 switchers to pull out the cars out of the intermodal terminal, as well as taking them off the intermodal train. So looking at the scenario here, instead of switching out 2 tracks like we said earlier, we're going to do 1 track and make the move. So we're going to swing over to here, and we're going to cut the caboose from it, and we're going to take 5 cars off the end, and we'll put them into the intermodal terminal and add the ones that are currently sitting on track 4, if I'm not mistaken. All right, so we're going to go pick up the 5 cars that we cut from the train and have him put it on the second intermodal track here. secondary track, excuse me. Play on words there. And I'll just move this. So we're going to pull the 5 cars, and then we'll shove them onto this track here, which is the second track on the West Harold Little Jamaica secondary. A quick stop, and now we'll just shove these cars back. Plenty of clearance here. So the next move will be to pull out the 5 cars that are in the intermodal terminal, pull them out, drop them just on the west end here of the main, and then have the train pick up these 5 cars that I'm pulling out. After that, we can add the caboose to it, and then we can send the train out of here, and then the switchers can shove in these 5 cars. Okay, so now we're back on the other side of the intermodal area, and we're going to bring in the switcher and have him pick up the cars that are located on track 4. So pull them out. And then what we'll do is once he clears West Harold Tower, we'll shove him back onto the main here. And then we can have the rest of the intermodal train pick up the cars, and then have the switcher add the caboose, and then we can do a runaround and shove the cars. Alright, that'll do it. Throw the switch. That's the beauty of the way these panels are set up. I've got the controls down here, especially right here in the corner. That'll control that switch there, which goes to the intermodal area, as well as that switch right there, which controls the warehouse and oil tank. So I don't have to run around back and forth. And I can pretty much do all of this right now from one side. Got the switch cleared. We'll cut the engine and just pull them off onto the siding here back on the intermodal area. So now we'll just run the engines, run them back onto the track here. Alright, so let's just get them out of the way for right now. Alright, they're out of the way. So now we just normalize the switch and bring the train back that was sitting on the other side, the rest of the intermodal train. And now what we'll do is we'll bring him back and let him pick up all these cars. Little aerial view. got the cars. That was a successful couple up. So now we'll pull this train up just past the switch that leads into the second track on the West Harrow Little Jamaica Secondary. And then I can run the switchers out. They can add the caboose and get this train out of the way so that the switcher can finish shoving these cars back into the intermodal terminal. Okay, so we're clear on that end. Now just to go add the caboose. Okay, let's go get that caboose. A little more. There we go. Clears the switch. And now we'll just cut the caboose and send the train off of the secondary out onto the main line to head back to staging. And then this set of switchers can finish up the move. Time for that train to get on the way. Now the switchers can go do their job. And they can do a run around, pick up the cars, and go put these 5 cars into the intermodal terminal, which we're going to do right now. Do a little run around, because they're going to shove these cars in. Got to go a little bit past the switch here. And then he can cross over. And if we can get him to get real close, we could probably just shove these cars without coupling up. No, that's not going to happen. So we're going to have this train head back over to the intermodal area. Okay, so the last part of this is to have this train come into the intermodal yard on track 4. And we're good. That's it. Thanks for watching.